The man ran into a robbery on his way to work. Someone threw a grenade at him. He tried to time it and toss it back, but it bounced straight into his hand. Yet the next day, he responded full health. But when he walked out of his house again, no matter how many times he died, he always came back to life the next morning and repeated the same routine. He first greeted his little goldfish, then changed into the exact same clothes. Next, he walked into the coffee shop and ordered a coffee without sugar. Finally, he arrived at the bank to work. When the robbers came to rob the bank, he skillfully lay on the ground and chatted with the guard. They were all already used to all of this. Because they were NPCs in a game, the ones with sunglasses were players. They could do anything they wanted in the game. But the NPCs without sunglasses could only act according to the program's settings. But on this day, the man saw a female player. He was instantly attracted to her, and he could not help but follow her. He left his fixed path just as he was about to say hello. He was hit by a train and sent flying. When he came back to life again, he went back to the coffee shop. He suddenly wanted to try a different choice. This time, he ordered a coffee with sugar. The barista was stunned. Everyone stared at him strangely. Even the tank outside aimed at him, I'm joking. When he got to the bank, he still lay on the ground. But when he looked up, he saw the female player again. The guard warned him that woman wore sunglasses. He had better not get close to her. This sentence instead reminded the man. He slowly approached the robber, trying to borrow his sunglasses. But he was badly beaten, seeing the one he liked about to leave. He suddenly burst into action and fought hard to grab the sunglasses. He rushed out of the bank, and the moment he put on the sunglasses, the whole world changed. All the buildings looked different. A medical kit appeared on the roadside. He reached out to touch it, and all his wounds healed instantly. He felt it was unbelievable. The next second, a player fell in front of him. A pile of cash floated from his body. He waved his hand lightly, and the money went straight into his account. He immediately withdrew it and bought his favorite sneakers, however. The strange behavior of the man caught the attention of the staff. I thought he was a hacker and started shooting at him. The man had no idea what was going on. He could only run for his life. He ran into a tall building. But the staff had already caught up, the critical moment. He looked at the new sneakers on his feet when he pressed the button. He jumped up 100 floors high. The staff were furious. They typed in cheat codes and turned the whole building into a ladder, chasing after him like crazy. The man kept collecting new items when he fell off the building. Fortunately, the new item saved him. He hadn't had time to celebrate. The staff thought they had finally deleted the hacker. But the next day, the man still came back to life. This time, he stopped the players from robbing the NPCs and returned the money to the shop owner. By defeating players, he kept leveling up and getting richer. Soon, he went viral on the real-world internet and kept showing up on the news. Every player wanted to know who he was. The staff also set their sights on him and sent the ultimate NPC against him, facing this powerful enemy. The man could barely fight back at the key moment. He put on the sunglasses again and summoned a shield, blocking the giant's deadly strike. What the shit? The scientist experimented with a black sticky substance on a patient. The instrument showed that his body was becoming healthier. But just when everyone thought the experiment had succeeded, the patient began to convulse violently. In the end, the patient died. In a mysterious way, this all began with a spaceship returning to Earth. It crashed due to a malfunction, leaving behind several jars containing black substances. These were life samples brought back from space, but one of the samples had disappeared. At the accident site, there was an astronaut still alive, so the rescue team immediately sent him to the hospital. However, on the way, the astronaut used his tentacles to kill the medical staff. Eventually, a woman emerged from the vehicle and silently walked towards a nearby market. Meanwhile, a reporter found out about the scientist's human experiments. He asked about it during a live broadcast and was immediately fired. Without a job, he struggled greatly. One day, while shopping for discounted items, a mysterious woman appeared before him. She was the supervisor of the human experiments. The company had been attempting to use alien organisms to parasitize human bodies, but many volunteers had died, and the scientists hid this fact while continuing their experiments. The kind-hearted woman decided to expose the truth, so she asked the man to help reveal the story. With her help, the man infiltrated the experimental facility. The horrifying scene in the lab was eye-opening. He quickly took photos for evidence. Just as he was about to leave, he heard a woman's cry for help. The man grabbed a fire extinguisher and tried to smash the glass. But at that moment, the woman suddenly leaped up and pinned him to the ground. Then black liquid began to ooze from her body. Terrified, the man fled the scene. He didn't realize the changes happening to his body, easily kicking open an iron door and jumping over a guardrail to escape the facility. It wasn't until he crashed into a large tree that he noticed something was wrong, but suddenly he disappeared into the forest. Back home, the man felt incredibly hungry. He kept searching for food, even eating discarded chicken. Soon, he began vomiting and passed out from shock. When he regained consciousness, he rushed to tell his girlfriend about the human experiments. Just then, he grabbed a steak from a waiter's plate and even stole food from another table. Everyone stared at him with strange looks, but the man suddenly felt very hot and jumped into the fish tank and grabbed a lobster and started eating it. His girlfriend immediately took him to the hospital. When the doctor opened the MRI scan, the man inside was in agony, even showing another face, and that was the legendary Venom.